I had great difficulty getting my colleagues to accept hypnosis.
Dr. Ron Katz, chairman, UCLA's Department of Anesthesiology.
Mrs. Strom came to see me over a year ago. She needed to have a breast biopsy and possibly a mastectomy. Since she had previously been anesthetized and literally been in a coma for days after the operation, we decided to go ahead and attempt the operation under hypnosis. Just imagine a giant mold filled with ice surrounding your breast, making your breast colder and colder.
I had a mental image of it being sort of a mystical, magical type of a thing, nothing that was really useful to normal people like me.
The colder it becomes, the number it will become, till it becomes so cold and so numb that you're barely aware that your breast is there. And since you like to ski, you can imagine yourself at Mammoth or somewhere where you've been. You just concentrate on that ski. Bits of snow float up, which reinforces the cold sensation on the breast.
At first, Kay was skeptical. But in spite of her doubts, she found herself being transported to a new and separate reality.
I could hear the doctors and nurses talking. It was like a radio was playing in the background, but really didn't have anything to do with me. People on the slopes moved out of the way to just watch me coming down.
Hypnosis took her to a distant place, a place without pain, a world that had apparently existed all along, deep within her mind.
If I ever had to have surgery again, that's the only way I would consider doing it at all.
The person has a greater ability to experience fantasy, and to experience that fantasy as real. The person also has the ability to remember things that are otherwise not so easily remembered.
When a burglary call set Officer Jim Van Pelt and his partner rolling, as dramatized here, he had no idea how far he was to go. Captain Mike Nielsen, Los Angeles Police Investigative Unit.
The trauma of the incident, the physical damage that was caused by the bullets, the speed with which things transpired, all served to lock these events into Van Pelt's subconscious mind.
TV set being turned on.
With a police artist keeping careful notes, psychologist Dr. Martin Reiser hypnotized Jim and then had him watch the crime again, as though seeing a documentary on a TV screen within his mind.
2, 3. Okay, the screen is lighting up.
My partner and I are working the midwatch in Northeast Division, and we're the first ones out of the parking lot when we receive a call to see the man, a burglary suspect there now.
11 Adam 31, Roger, on the call 459 there now at 2230 at Garba.
My partner and I both exit out of the car. I look over and I see a male Negro. My partner talks to the individual.
Let me see your identification.
And gets no response to any questioning at all. He pats him down, which is a normal procedure to check for weapons. And I'm standing directly in front of the suspect, and something seems amiss. Suddenly the suspect let out a blood-curdling scream. I found myself laying on my back. I raised up in an effort to bring him down. I fall back and I hear him running down the street. I was suddenly alone.
Relying on his notes as well as experience and training, the artist narrowed in on the details crucial to an accurate composite drawing.
His hair is cut short.
Look again, as you did before, at this corrected composite drawing and tell me what you think.
Well, that's good. That's the man that shot me.
By watching a mental movie, Officer Van Pelt reached into his clouded memory and furnished a precise description that aided in the arrest of the suspect. Details of astonishing clarity retrieved through hypnosis.
We can introduce information obtained via hypnosis. It's up to the jury to decide how much credibility they will give that information.
For most people, life is rarely so dramatic. Children go to school, adults go to work, life goes on. Routine. Unless the town you live in is called Chowchilla, and you happen to be Ed Ray.
On my afternoon run, I made about 3 stops, and I was going down Road 16, and I turned on Avenue 21, and I saw a white van down there, and when I got up close, the front door was open over the white line.
Open that door! Get in the back of the bus.
Deep in a nightmare, many of the events became confused and blocked in Ed Ray's mind.
Well, in the case of Ed Ray, just as in other cases that we've had, after he'd been hypnotized, instead of asking him to remember the license plate, we prepared him with an appropriate image involving the use of the imagination. The world comes to you in 5 senses, and all that data is stored in the 5 senses. Nothing is ever forgotten. The brain stores everything, forgets nothing. It stores all information in 5 senses, and it can be tapped. In cases of this type, we give them an image that involves the 5 senses. They're walking along a beautiful beach. It's a warm, hot summer day. There's a blazing sun overhead. You feel the hot, dry sand. See the waves as they're thrashing and smashing. Step in the cool, wet, squishy sand. Taste the salty spray.
Gently guided from the beach back to the crime scene, Ray was told he could see through the lens of a camera and could zoom in to study in detail what his conscious mind had blocked. Under hypnosis, he gave the FBI all but one of the crucial license numbers of his abductor's van.
Si je meurs, je veux qu'on m'enterre dans une cave où il y a du bon vin. Dans une cave, oui, 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 dans une cave.
A remarkable experiment in teaching is underway in a San Francisco classroom.
Dans une cave, oui, 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 dans une cave.
Alors je vais lire le dialogue. Et 3. Bon, alors faisons ça 5 fois. 5 cycles. Bon, commencez. Sans la musique et après avec la musique. 8 jours après, dans la voiture en route.
These people are increasing their learning speed by using a technique which is enhanced by hypnosis, breaking through learning barriers, controlling pain, psychotherapy, and behavior modification are just a few of the current uses of hypnosis. Every day that passes, hypnosis is becoming a more important factor in our lives. What about 50 years from today? Possibly we'll find self-hypnosis being taught in schools for everyone to use. Possibly motion pictures will become unnecessary, obsolete, when compared with the vivid pictures in our own minds. For if the mind is truly the gateway to the heavens, hypnosis may be the key that unlocks that gate.
Coming up next, In Search Of continues with a look into the possibility that we can teach ourselves ESP. Then agents get caught up in one of the most bizarre kidnappings in the FBI's history. On FBI, The Untold Story.